Live from Dublin to the world.
Freak FRQ.
The F-Bomb on Freak.
Hello Niall, how's it going?
Not too bad. Paul, I read somewhere that most of us actually have 3 or 4 dreams a night, most nights.
You can dream up to 5 times every night. You go through 5 different phases of REM sleep.
Oh, right. And would you find that the more creative people would dream more than the less creative among us?
Yeah, definitely. There's all kinds of anecdotes and stories of people who compose songs. Say Paul McCartney, for example, the song Yesterday, he just woke up out of a dream with that and just sat down with his guitar and kind of just finished it off. Yeah, creative minds will have more creative dreams, but we all dream anyways, regardless of our level of creativity.
The thing is, though, that when we wake up in the morning, our conscious mind takes over from our subconscious mind and everything is just kind of wiped out so that we're ready to get up and, you know, be normal human beings and be awake. So we kind of forget them pretty quickly when we wake up in the morning. Are there any techniques that you know for making sure that we remember them?
There's a couple. Well, one of the simplest ones is just simply to put a pen and paper on your bedside locker beside your bed at night, and that acts as a post-hypnotic suggestion. It suggests to your mind you've left that there for a reason, and the reason being that you're going to record your dreams. And then when you do have a dream, especially the one that wakes you up maybe in the middle of the night and you think, what the hell was that about? You don't have to go and search for a pen and a paper. You can just simply jot down a few key words,
right,
and you've recorded that dream. A dream that people normally remember more easily is the last dream just before you wake up in the morning. I would say to people, you know that way you know the alarm clock is going to go off in a few minutes and you kind of think of a few more minutes. If you tell the dream back to yourself, even before you open your eyes, before you move a muscle, tell the dream back to yourself, and that way you bring it from your subconscious into conscious awareness, and then once again you've got the pen and paper beside your bed and you can just jot down a few key words. Recording your dreams or being able to remember them is a skill like anything else. You need to practice it, and the more you practice it, then the more adept you'll become at it.
So you can work on it and you can effectively train your brain. We're going to get to a couple of our listeners' dreams in a few minutes, but first off, I have one that I did have recently that I was given to you. I dreamed I was getting fit and doing a bit of running, which isn't very in character for me. I do a lot of walking, but running, no. I ran so far and so fast that time went backwards. Now, this made sense in the dream, that running really far and fast made time go backwards. Doesn't make sense in reality. I ended up, though, going back far enough in time and far enough distance-wise that I was in revolutionary France all of a sudden. And everybody kept singing that song from Les Miserables, Do You Hear the People Sing? And for some reason, I wasn't impressed with this. I wasn't in my own headspace anymore as a runner. They were all interfering with that. So I stopped running. And as soon as I did, everything exploded around me. There was a huge explosion and everything but me disappeared, and I was in a big white empty space, kind of like we'd see in the movie The Matrix, of nothingness. And it only lasted a few seconds and I woke up, but I thought I remembered that one pretty vividly, I can tell you.
It's an amazing dream, Niall. Running isn't something that you normally do. It's a pattern of behaviour. You're engaging in something that maybe you don't normally do. But the other thing is, running is so much faster than walking. So maybe there's an impatience with you to get things done. And the thing about running so fast that you move backwards in time, what popped into my mind was Albert Einstein when he was formulating his theories on relativity and light. And he would have said that if you can move faster than the speed of light, you can actually time travel. I don't know whether that's in your subconscious mind or whether that information is there. But when you go back to revolutionary France, that's a period of turmoil. There's a lot of upheaval happening, people getting their heads chopped off and all of that kind of thing. Yeah. So it probably talks about you going through a similar phase in your life where there's going to be a little bit of upheaval. Maybe people around you that are annoying you or maybe holding you back because you seem to want to get rid of these people that are around you. And then you do. That's the beauty of the subconscious mind. You actually create a white space, a blank space. And that in a dream can signify like a blank canvas, a white canvas where you can start from scratch and have things exactly the way you want them.
Okay, well that's interesting. That's me and my messed up head and my imagination. Some of our F-Bomb listeners' dreams are on the way, but first we're going to take a break for some music. Paul, if you stay right there, I'll talk to you again in a few minutes. This is the F-Bomb on FRQ.FM.
Join us on Facebook.
Drop your F-Bomb now.
Operating system.
Search FRQ.
The F-Bomb on Freak.
It's FRQ.FM. It's the F-Bomb, home of brand new music and of dream analysis tonight with Mr. Paul Gill, hypnotherapist and psychotherapist. And returning back to Paul now, who's on the phone line with me. Do you use hypnotherapy, Paul, to bring out people's dreams or the meaning of their dreams?
Oh, it's extraordinarily useful for that, and that's where my interest in dreams stems from. I would get clients to to regularly journal their dreams, to keep a record of them, you can see recurring pattern in dreams. You can see exactly what's going on in their life. It's almost as if I can do a diagnostic on their lives from just analysing their dreams.
But it seems like dreams can kind of serve as your subconscious mind telling you something that you'd never readily admit to yourself when you're conscious, that you're telling yourself, oh, look, you need to fix this, you need to sort this out, and you wouldn't normally
They're
state...
an honest appraisal of how your subconscious mind views your world, so your life, what's going on. And it helps people resolve issues that have been lurking in the subconscious mind perhaps for years. So once they're purged from the subconscious mind, then the person can be less anxious or better able to deal with stress in their lives.
So like getting it off your chest is kind of getting it off your subconscious. Let's let a couple of our listeners do that. Jack in Dublin, he's 15 years of age. He says he dreamt he went to the factory where his father works to buy a car. Instead he found a white van. He took it for a test drive and drove it very fast through the streets. He guessed that nobody would know that it was him driving the van, and then he's going down a very steep hill, and he says, when I press the brakes, the pedal just goes to the floor. I can't stop. Now I'm heading straight for a wall. I jump clear of the van before it crashes into the wall and, of course, bursts into flames like in all the good movies. Then I go back to the factory and my father's car is missing. Everybody is looking at me. I pretend I don't know anything about it, but just then I look down and I'm naked from the waist down. I wake up with the shock. There's a heck of a lot going on there.
There's a lot, and that's very much in keeping with what we just discussed, where the subconscious mind is telling him, giving him a message that he doesn't want to know ordinarily. So if you look at this, analyse it, factories are places where things get done, things get made. He's going to the factory to buy a car, although I think he said he was 15, so he's looking to get his wheels. He finds a white van. Now, I don't know whether you're familiar with the term white van syndrome, where it's just this idea that people in white vans drive like maniacs around the place. It's probably unfair to anybody who actually does drive a white van who may be listening, but it is out there. So he takes this white van and he does that exact thing. He drives it recklessly through the streets going fast, and he feels that he's anonymous because people can't see it that it's him. He doesn't own a white van doesn't ordinarily drive one. And then things get out of control where he can't stop. That's where the brake hits the floor and nothing happens. And then he's heading for a wall. We use that expression as well. I came up against a wall or I hit a wall. It means an impasse.
We couldn't go any further.
That can be anger, and a lot of young men are full of testosterone and can be exceptionally angry people. But when he goes back, his father's car is missing. So Jack has done something that he doesn't want to be found out.
Right.
In relation to. And he is found out because that nakedness in this dream is that everybody can see that...
You can't hide any further what you've done.
Yeah, everybody can see for real. Nakedness can mean different things in different dreams. Sometimes it can be freedom, where somebody says, I just have the freedom to be myself, warts and all, don't have to cover up. But in this dream, it's more of a sense of embarrassment. He's been found out.
So what does this dream represent that his subconscious mind is telling him that he should do next then?
He needs to stop taking risks. Stop behaving in a way that is potentially going to get him in trouble. It may be in relation to a car or a van, maybe he wants to get his wheels, but it can be in other areas of his life as well, maybe home or school.
It's an interesting one. We have another one, Ciara from Wicklow. She's 14. She says she has a very strange dream where she ends up kissing a guy she hardly even knows. The dream takes place in school. She's in chemistry class. The teacher asks me, she says, up in front of the class to help with an experiment. When I go to sit down again, there's suddenly this guy sitting in my place. Instead of asking him to move, I sit on his knee. We start kissing and people take photos of us. I feel embarrassed, but I make no effort to stop him kissing me. That's an unusual, isn't it? It's not something that's likely to actually happen in class, but...
No, but you know what sticks out for me here, Niall, is the word chemistry. You know, when there's chemistry between people.
And she's in chemistry class at the time.
Yeah, so it's chemistry that she feels between this guy. She said she hardly even knows him, so she probably did recognise the guy in the dream. It's not a dark stranger. She's up in front of class, and when you're up in front of class, you're kind of in full view of everybody, and sometimes that can be humiliation, but there's no hint of humiliation here. But when she goes back, this guy is in her place. So this guy has come on her radar, and she is flirtatious with him. She sits on his knee. So there is a sense of embarrassment with her, but then she doesn't want to stop herself either. And I find it's curious that her classmates or people start taking photographs. Photographs would imply maybe that these two are now a couple, they're an item, because when you're in a relationship you post photos on Facebook and social media and things.
She doesn't try to stop him kissing her though, even though she's embarrassed, so she's okay with that embarrassment?
She is okay with that embarrassment because I think she wants the guy at the end of the day. She's only 14, so I don't know what her previous experience with relationships are, but she's willing to kind of overcome her sense of embarrassment to get with this guy.
So again, what's her subconscious telling her here? Is it that, there is somebody out there, you've spotted him, he might be the one for you?
There is somebody here on her radar. She's definitely interested in him, even though maybe in waking life she might deny that she is.
Right. One final one. Joan, who's 19, says she's always having dreams about being back in her granny's house. She says, in the dream, my granny's house is like a giant doll's house. We have tea and we chat. I know in the dream that my granny's dead, but I feel I can't tell her as it'll spoil everything for her. She bakes a cake for me and another one for my mother. I can't tell her that I don't talk to my mother anymore for the same reason. What's this dream about? My granny died when I was 10. I was thinking about her recently as I'm expecting my first baby. She would have loved to have been able to see my child when it's born. That's from Joan, who is 19. She doesn't say where she's from, but...
Okay. I think the key to this dream is Joan's own relationship with her mother. She's not on good terms with her mother. She's not talking to her mother. And now she's on the verge of becoming a mother herself. All of these mother-daughter relationship issues are coming up from her. It starts back in her granny's house. Obviously, that was a nice place for Joan to be.
The granny's house is a doll's house, though, as well. That's a strange one.
Yeah, it's probably harking back to a simpler time, less responsibilities. I don't know, Joan doesn't mention a relationship or a partner or setting up a house or setting up a home, but maybe that's there in the background as well. Little girls will create these idealistic, dolls' houses and tea parties and all of that. I would have suspected that she was pregnant because of the fact that the cake, like the granny makes a cake for her and she says, give this one, another one then to your mother. It's that expression, certainly people used to use it years ago, somebody has a bun in the oven.
Yeah.
Meaning they're
but
pregnant.
is Granny in the dream then, does Granny represent her subconscious telling her you really should patch things up here with the mother?
Yeah, I think so. Giving somebody a cake or something like that and extending the hand and saying, look, it's time we made up. We gave each other and moved on. So this person, Joan, she gives us no information as to why she's not talking to her mother, but her subconscious is saying it's time to resolve this, make peace. And the fact too, she says that it's a very telling line that Granny has been dead for 10 years, and she makes the remark that Granny would have loved to see her child. Yeah. I think if you substitute Granny for her own mother, because when she has a child, her own mother is going to be the Granny then.
I suppose what we're looking at here, once again, is the subconscious trying to tell her something. Sort things out, patch it up if possible.
Yeah, it's time to do that and time to heal the wounds.
When you look at all these dreams, and there's a very definite message in these dreams coming possibly from your subconscious, do you think that that's the case and that you should kind of put a lot of credence into what your subconscious is telling you? Or, should you take it with a pinch of salt at the same time and give it a bit of thought and make up your own mind based on more kind of factors?
No, you shouldn't act purely on what you dream about, because you can have weird and wonderful dreams, and sometimes people dream of death in dreams or dream of accidents, and sometimes they think it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You need to use your whole mind and your whole awareness, your daily awareness. Your subconscious is simply giving you a message as to how it views the situation.
Right.
It's giving you a report, and you can act literally on that report, or you can take it in conjunction with everything else you know about the problem, and then make a decision. It's giving you a report that you don't have to take literally, but there's valuable information in there nevertheless.
Presumably not every dream has a specific message coming from your subconscious. Presumably some dreams can just be silly.
They can, and Sigmund Freud would have said a lot of dreams are just wish fulfillment. I mean, you can have silly dreams where you're just floating along in a cloud, but every dream can be interpreted, no matter how ordinary it is. You could have a dream that you're standing looking out your window at the weather. And I would always question, well, why would your mind give you that dream when it's got so much else that it can dream about? And maybe your mind is telling you that you're bored ordinarily, and you need to kind of bring new things into your life. Trick is analysing the information.
Paul, once again, we're going to put it out there that people can get in touch on our Facebook page, facebook.com/FRQFM. They can send us direct messages there if they don't want to put stuff up there and, make it for everybody to see. Because dreams and problems are very personal. But if you have a dream or a problem that you'd like Paul Gill to analyse for you next week on the F-Bomb, feel free to post it up there. Paul, thanks a million for talking to me once again.
Thank you.